Wasn't the the struggling Fnatic of the times past. No, this was when Golden was still leading the team and when they were really in that spree of success. So that was definitely no short achievement. But MVP now, the team that we need to highlight as well.
Half. But Connor, it's all for later. We are jumping into this one. It is the first round of the day, the first map of the day here in the quarterfinals for the Zotac Asia Regional Qualifiers, and we are straight into the knife round for sides.
So the knife round for the sides. I'm glad you bring up the importance of T-sides and the impact of T-sides for teams like this, right? Because a little part of me actually anticipates very strong T-sides as opposed to CT-sides. Yeah. I'm not too confident, especially with stand-ins, on the defensive end of things, right? When we look back to the incredible performance of Scars Absolute versus Fnatic, when they took that 30-round bender to the end, it was the T-side that started it off with a 3-point lead over Fnatic. I believe 9-6 with the half. So it was on the CT side that they started to flop and fall, right? When push comes to shove, that's when things can fall apart. But here we go, Hugo.
We actually had Scars winning the knife round and going for the T-side pick. So actually, yeah, this really does play into the storyline coming into this game. It is going to be the less favored side and the least typical pick coming through for Scars. So I'm very excited to see if that works out for them, if they can find this potentially upset here in the first game of the day. And we should be jumping into the pistol round now, at least. So buys coming through. For the Scars side, we have armor on everyone except Laz. He's brought up a P250 with a smoke and a flashbang, and a very default buy for MVP themselves.
Yeah. So without further ado, folks, welcome to the opening round of the Zotac Asia Regional Finals. Again, MVP, SZ Absolute to kick it off. And these terrorists have already moved their way up towards the apartments. They will then redirect towards the B bomb site, smoking off the cross, and they're already charging their way up Banana. We've got players trickling into the bomb site, making their way past, and unfortunately for the CTs, they will have no map control here at all.
Yeah, everyone's stacked up on the A site. The wrong read coming through for MVP, so this bomb's going to go down without any of a fight. Solo tries to contest here from the ruins, but instead he's going to be forced out. Scars just trying to hold strong for the time being while MVP group up and set up for this retake. 3 in Banana, and the P250 is going to be challenged. Laz trying to fire off some shots, but it's going to be Poe to find first blood. Kills coming through, but in the favor of the T side, and it will be as quick and clean as you like it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a 4-player stack up on that A bomb site right away. The defense much more focused on that side of the map than the other half. And then Absolute, who looked like they were heading that direction, they made a little bit of noise outside of the apps, and they immediately redirect themselves towards the B site. I have to say, Hugo, that actually screams to me a level of preparation. You have a 4-player A bomb site stack, which means you're anticipating that hit. Absolute head that way early on, going into what would have been a trap, and then immediately redirect towards B, where they overwhelm because there is no defense. So I feel like MVP may have just been spoon-fed the old switcheroo.
Yeah, and again, this is something we talked about, storyline coming into this game and this event. It's opening matches where teams seem to be most prepared, and of course, while we have, one game a day when we get to those best of threes, it's going to be a similar story. We're going to have plenty of time for these teams to prepare for their opponents and to get ready for these kind of strategies. So, second round ahead of us, the force up from MVP. They are known to wisely invest into this CT side, especially on Inferno. They love their SMGs, but for now, it's P250s and CZ75s supported by the armor. Solo holds onto the money to pull in that AWP early, and Scars, they've gone for the triple UMP, double AK, fairly default T-side buy.
Straight up on that B site though, Hugo. This is a complete and utter change around from the pistol to begin, but it is still Absolute, playing a little bit of a slower pace. I'm glad they're going to do this, right? I hate it, Hugo. Absolutely hate it when we watch teams win pistols, get themselves a very real opportunity at a couple of opening rounds, only to then throw it away, versus these sorts of buys, right? A quick B-site bomb stack is a very good defense in terms of catching Absolute off guard, had they fully committed, had they not felt out the map at first. But what scares me is that they never actually, despite of having all that time to play with, went to clear out apartments or feel the A-site. They are trickling into B, despite having had an opportunity to erect a defense on the other side of the map.
However, with no information, we're going to see this T-side team just run into the stack. MVP flashes through, and they start to take some aggression. Go with a kill, and Zion going to double it down with a CZ75. SC getting shut down in Banana, and there's still more CTs here left on the site. zeff, another kill. A solo push by Take J is going to catch him off guard, and Zion finds 3 on the back of a CZ. MVP they're going to pick up that second round, Connor, with only one casualty.
That's a really good example of how to create an opportunity to play an anti-eco and then not follow through with some of the most important aspects of it, right? The fact that they didn't rush into the B-bomb site means that they're creating a gap, a lapse in time to play with and to explore other portions of the map, and they just didn't. They didn't have anybody positioned out in alt mid. They had nobody pushing up into the apartments. So even though you're gaining this information that the CTs aren't rushing you, they themselves aren't playing aggressive, you don't know if they're positioning on your flank. You don't know if they're stacking bomb sites. And even when we see that commitment, there was no need for it. You could have thrown in 1 or 2 players first. You could have been a little bit more cautious with the situation. But it looks like MVP are going to have another hard counter. They've pushed a player to the bottom of Banana. That's so much information gained. And Absolute are not doing that good of a job of watching their backside. You can see Take J now comes back here. He's a little cautious, a little curious, and he should be. There's a smoke grenade in front of him. So he knows there could be players pushed up, and sure enough, there is. It's zeff from the corner. He's got the support of termi. That's 2 players down now. They will clear the corner, but termi, falling off, still dealing damage, will keep himself alive.
And that's so important. If he went down there, Scars could have just run over the bomb site and gotten that plant in, but because he's still here, it allows time for a rotation. We've seen Glow move into position up on the coffin box. Solo's going to be coming in from the back line, but they're ready for it. Only 1 kill before the trade is found, and now Scars running back to the unstacked A bomb site. MVP realizing the error of their ways, and Zion's going to get caught out in another 1v1 won by the Japanese. The bomb going down, and MVP now setting up for the retake in the 2-on-2.
Yeah, these dirty mid-round rotations have really created a situation that could go south. Glow is currently keeping his eyes over towards the pit. He's got a player pinned in, but there's also a man on the bomb site. That will be Poem on 36 HP. termi trying to clear things first. He does get the drive-by. Now they need to find the second. He's in the back of the site. He's down. termi clears both, and it is MVP to get a second round.
And that's a big 3K from termi. He was a player that we talked about. He needs to have a good individual performance coming into this event. It is, of course, HSK that's not playing for MVP here, where he typically does. And with a coach standing in, that can sometimes create problems. But no, a good round from him. Nice defense on Banana after a quick kill. And then, of course, a retake working out wonderfully for him. So MVP 2-1. It's forced by wars going back and forth. And, I mean, this is just what we expect from this game. Scars, bomb down, going to be allowed to buy up here. They've got AKs dropped over.
Hugo, are Absolute on the CT side? Because that's Glow on screen right now.
Yeah, no, the cameras are switched, I've noticed, as well as the logos.
Okay. I was scared for a moment. Yeah. That's all right.
No, it's fine.
If you ever have hiccups, it's normally in the morning.
Although it is 12:02 right now, Connor, so
that's true.
You messed that one up.
North America, there's no concept of time on this side of the world. Hugo is a constant blur, and it's a constant smoke that's been kept towards the bottom of Banana so far from these CTs. But they'll walk back for the IMB. Again, another instance where they've got back this opportunity with the double AKs and Galil. They don't want to throw this away. It's a crucial round if they want to get things tied up as quick as can be.
It's the nature of force by wars, right? If you go back and forth, forcing each round, whoever gets 2 in a row will instantly force the other team to eco, or at least should on paper. A lot of teams still force after that, but in terms of typical CS, that's what you expect. So if Absolute lose this round, MVP not only a 3-1, but then an anti-eco to bring them to a 4th. For now, though, we've got the solo AWP on the B site, going to be calling for a bit of a rotation. zeff looks in that CT spawn. With Scars not really putting too much pressure on this round, aside from the apartments where Take J walks down, it's going to be the peek into Banana with no utility. Solo with a free kill, and that's the opening frag. Looking for more, he gets the wall bang as well. Damage done to the side of Scars, but they're going to continue pushing into B.
He's going to reposition over towards the coffin, so this is a great spot for him to try and continue his impact, but he's lost zeff already. He's lost his teammate, Hugo, and he will continue to retreat. Comes back in for a little bit of a peek, wants to drop the bomb, but instead it has been planted. So the retake is on, and they will, of course, have a single-man advantage, not to mention health. This after plant also looks atrocious. Both Barce and Crow were pinned into the barbecue side, and that only player with HP, Take J, who has no weapon to work with, is over on Banana. But oh, from the corner, he drops himself too. Now Take's trying to eagle this off, and he hits it. The headshot's there. It falls on Solo, and MVP defused the bomb.
Oh, that's such a horrible way to lose for Take as well. No armor, low health, didn't want to commit to the peak under the assumption that Solo will be faking the bomb, but the full defuse there in that retake will be enough for MVP. And that's it. When you come in with a man advantage, it's so easy to just stick a player to that bomb and commit to it, because SC, they're still focused on getting the kills. There's still one more player than them to find, and that double stack in the pool, while it looks shaky, like you said, in the afterplant, MVP not expecting of it. They get the first kill, but Bars Mo's down 2, and now we have that 2 rounds in a row. But the thing is, SC have continued to force, or at least half by.
This is a problem. They've got to deal with this number 3 man. They've got to get Flow out of the situation. And that flashbang could do it. It does. TakeJ's able to clean him up, but Solo with an up on Arch. He has swapped sides of the map, still finding impact regardless. He is yet to seal out this round, and TakeJ, considering he has himself that M4, could just continue to work his way up. Oh, Sign hit though Hugo. He doesn't get himself both, and a missed op shot creates another opportunity for TakeJ.
Bomb down as well. I mean, he's equipped for this. Rifle, armor, yes, low health. He's trying to isolate a 1v1. Good timing on the retake there for MVP. They come in at the same time, very important. And termi, again, another impactful kill to bring MVP to this 4-1 lead. With the defuse coming in, while we've had 2 buys in a row, Scar's actually kept a bit of cash in their pocket from that round. So now they're going to have a hell of a lot of money, Connor. The lead may look good here for MVP, but Scars have rifles upon rifles. And we may even have the opportunity for an AWP coming straight in the hands of Laz. That is a factor. So now him up against Solo is going to be a duel I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, take note though, of course, at this moment, Solo tied for the most amount of kills. He's had more chances on that AWP, so it makes sense that he's also gotten impact. Laz with only 1 frag at this moment. This is his chance to kind of kick open the door, right? This is his chance to put up numbers himself. And a duel of the Oppers is what we would look for. He is positioned back towards T-Ramp. Very difficult position to hold, especially when these grenades go flying by. zeff with an intuitive clearing of the corner. We'll find that by B4.
And straight away, look at how MVP peel back, right? They get the kill, then they just fall out of banana. They want nothing to do with it. A man advantage is already held, and Scars have no way to trade that. Look at the further damage done. Crow and TakeJ tagged down to near half HP. MVP, they're confident in this round, and they have reasons to be so. A minute on the clock left, and a bit of utility for this T side still to get them into a bomb site. But MVP have done a good job of holding on to these incendiaries. Still 2 remain. However, both of them on the A site, and currently Scars looking to pressure B.
They want to pressure it, but they're doing so patiently, right? They're still waiting here. They're not sure if there's anybody actually pushed up inside Banana, so TakeJ's going to have to take a lot of this role onto himself. However, at the A site, there's also a bit of a clash. Bars is trying to pressure players back, trying to keep them committed to the other side of the map as the execution to B site continues. They will start to push forward on both sides simultaneously, getting themselves picks, but it's termi with a 2K. He stopped both bodies on the B site. The bomb itself starts to retreat, but look at this weird positioning going on at the A site. We've got Bars inside the bomb pit, but we also have Solo just up on lane with Glow holding on the pinch. So how do you get this bomb into the A site? You have to go in through apps. And with only 15 seconds left of the clock, Hugo, you have to make your move quick. And Solo, well, he catches it off guard. That puts it onto the last man, and an easy clear from MVP.
That's so awkward, though, from the side of Scars, right? The only reason that setup doesn't work is because termi gets 2 kills. Say termi only gets 1 or goes down, then we see MVP start to rotate players off of that A site, and as a result, that bomb can surely make its way out of apps. It's just down to termi being able to hold the B site alone after his teammate falls is why MVP don't rotate, and why they keep them on the A site, meaning that position up in the apartments from the bomb did not work.
Yeah, but what's nice, of course, is that had Bars been shut down outside of apartments, then there wouldn't have even been that fallback, right? The bomb carrier would have had to been committed onto the B bomb site because he has no alternative route. So cool little, simultaneous entry gives them at least options to work with. It's just unfortunate for them that they can't make either option work. And zeff nearly finding an opening kill already in this round, as he did previously in the 6th with that kill through smoke.
Yeah, it's been smoke damage. It's been so good for MVP. Scar's starting every round off with a disadvantage in terms of health. We need to see them leave this banana open. If MVP, similarly to a buy round 4 rounds ago, when MVP took banana control, Scars left it alone. They focused on middle and apartments, and later in the round, they went back to retake banana. They flashed their way up. They were able to trade effectively, although it was termi to hold down the line. If Scars can do that now with rifles and stop giving away all this free damage to the side of MVP, this could be good. But now, Triple B stacking the T's running in. Poem, he has found the opener, but we still have 2 players left up for MVP. Bars shutting them down 1 by 1, though. He's going to get stuck in the smoke. What's going on? Solo caught out as he expects the wrap. The knife comes through, and Scars are in a massive advantage. Glow tries to draw it back, but I don't think it will be enough.
No, Zion's already been convinced to retreat in CT. That's really weird.
Yeah.
How the Opera doesn't hear footsteps back behind him, whether or not he thinks his teammate, who's obviously already dead, I do not know, Hugo, but $1,500 for free sounds like a hell of a deal to me.
Yeah. I think the big issue was they lose that CT player first off, right? Not only him, but the player at the back of the site gets dropped by Bar. So the option for that wrap through the ruins that is so prominent on these B-side takes opens up. So instead of expecting someone to rush through the smoke, he expects someone to wrap his backside and, yeah, maybe just blundered there. But a nice round from Scars. They keep 4 players standing after it, so money going to begin to build up here for the Japanese. And MVP, they save a gun, but they can still buy up at least in terms of a little bit. But again, look at the money. They've taken casualties every single round. 2,500, 3,400. We've not got a hell of a lot of cash here on MVP. I have no doubt they're going to buy up because this is a team that loves to utilize SMGs, but will it work out is the question.
Yeah, I think that you can definitely justify it, especially seeing as we're on Inferno, right? The map pick plays right into that kind of, you know, team culture in the sense of force buying with SMGs, but always ensuring that you at least have utility to come in behind it, right? Those are 2 things that you can definitely make on Inferno. Grenades, mandatory. You need smokes, you need Molotovs, you need to be able to burn down the clock and stop executions. SMGs, they work fantastically on Inferno. Look at the amount of close quarters combat you generally get to engage in. It's not really an Opera's paradise.
However, the money doesn't account for SMGs here. They've been able to get up rifles, although 2 of them FAMASes. And a bit of utility, however, most of that's been used early on. And we've already talked about how effective this banana control has been. Now there's only 1 smoke left on that side of the map, just on zeff. Scars using utility of their own and focusing up towards middle for this round. There's no pressure on banana. And MVP as a result, they've seen no one here, so they just rotated solo. It's a single pistol on this B site, to defend. As Scars look to take control over A. MVP with a heavy stack, they should be prepared.
Oh, players back in the bomb site as well. Like, not only do you have to have all your attention on Pit to clear that, but there's players all over the place. Nice little spray down control from Solo. He's still waiting for more players to come in, and sure enough, he gets himself a second. It is traded out eventually from Take J, but now Glow finding impact with a FAMAS, cuts it down to the 4 versus 2. The bomb doubling back towards the B site, and that puts the pressure on zeff, the only pistol player for MVP. Crow! He kills Take J. That's a blunder, and it costs them. Neither absolute player getting a kill on an enemy in the late round, and that could spell disaster, Hugo.
That was so funny. We saw a player peek mid from MVP, fire off a couple of bullets, do maybe 50 damage, and then the 1 shot to the head from the teammate cleaned up the kill. He didn't even finish off the frag himself. I just thought it was delayed, but no. Big mistake there from Scars, and as a result, losing their rifle round, they get reset. MVP crunching the cash here of the Japanese. We have pistols and armor. A slight investment here, but really no utility to work with apart from a smoke and a flash. And this is where MVP can start to build a bit of a lead on the CT side.
Most definitely. This is a big opportunity for them. I mean, I think it speaks so much, Hugo, when you realize there are 3 AK-47s in play for the counter-terrorists, right? That is free money in the bank, free weapons in your hands, and a very real opportunity for them to bounce back, because we just alluded to the fact that after 1 loss, they were into FAMASes and lackluster guns. This is a complete and utter rebound for MVP, assuming they can still win things out, right? It is versus upgraded pistols with some utility still left over, a single smoke and flash for SZ Absolute. But they're going to get themselves a little closer to mid. Solo's so blind that he can't get anything, but they don't clear him, and Glow gets himself 2. Now Solo's going to come in. They have no idea where he's at. Eventually, he clears the player from within the smoke, and it falls to Bar, so the last man up is down, and MVP will move to 7.
Nice smoke swap there. I'm actually surprised he gets out with 2 kills, because we see Poem double back and run back through the smoke to either check middle or have a bit of an assumption there was a player there. Obviously blocking in the smoke, maybe he was felt out by the T side, but unfortunately for Scars, they're not going to find too much done on that pistol round, but here's where the big guns come to play. Rifles in the hands of every T side player, although it's a very similar story for MVP despite that single UMP. As you said it yourself, the triple AK, MVP have been looking very, very good on the CT side. And look at the banana control taken this round solo. He's just walked straight down. MVP with 3 players on this bomb site as well. With the control they've taken, they can rotate a man off, but it's a push through the smoke that gets decapitated.
Yeah, Solo's been very, very good in these up-close smoke situations, most notably last round when he goes and clears out middle. This time it's over towards the bottom of B. that he finds himself impact. What's nice as well is not only is Solo playing against the smoke grenades incredibly well, but we've seen zeff finding impact through the smoke grenades too, right? So Absolute, in my mind, are kind of getting bullied in terms of utility usage. We've seen them walk out middle with no flashbangs. We've seen them charge down Banana doing the same. And if you're not going to make the most use of your grenades while allowing your opponents to just exploit it, you're doomed and you're done for.
Let's find out if FC can finally find another round on the board. It is back to the A site. A couple of flashbangs left up and one singular smoke, but that's already gone, and the forced rotation already coming through from MVP. They move a man back off of the B site, and now the kills start to come through. Bars with the opening frag, but it's such a strong defense from MVP. The stack is perfect, Glow with 2, and Termi the same story for him as well. MVP with no issues holding down that A bomb site, only a single death. And again, it's just buy eco here for the Japanese. They've got no cash left to play with.
Remember back, Hugo, in the first round when we saw Laz pick up an off, right? I alluded to the fact that he still only had 1 kill and didn't really find an opening yet, and the same could be said for Crow. Well, both those players still have only 1 frag. So what Absolute need to do right now is not only, again, try to make more use of utility, but it's also just straight up get kills. If you can't go toe-to-toe with your opponents, if you're not able to get those entry frags and soften up bomb sites, then you get screwed. Glow nearly gets himself another. He will finish off a 3K in that situation, leaving it on Laz.
And the Shadow spotted as well. Laz tries to dive back into Boiler, but Zion actually saw him escape. Doesn't know if he's in apps, but with his teammate in middle, that locks down the possibility of a flank. However, Laz has read this well at the very least. He has gone back through the T-spawn, and that's where Termi sits. So a very awkward position where you don't see a lot of gunfights. So different positions can be taken here from Termi, and he's going to hear that drop as well. That will be surely his frag. And Termi has had a sick game as well, can we just say. 10-4, the coach here for MVP standing in and stepping up to the mark.
Yeah, and then alongside Solo and Glow, who have 12 and 14 frags apiece. So it's not everybody from MVP putting in work, but it's enough work to get this job done, Hugo. Manual labor as MVP lift another round to the board. We will be now 9-2. So Absolute, I feel like they need to gun for at least 5 here on the T side, especially considering that they decided to start on that side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, look at the confidence Solo's had this entire game, either pushing down Banana or taking mid control, right? The nade down Banana will take down Poem early on, and Solo, again, peeking aggressively into second middle, won't even be punished. Scars not able to find the opening kill, and MVP still hold aggressive Banana positions. Termi stuck down here at the bottom, but a smoke to bail him out and hold back, take Jacob from doing anything here. He's still going to commit to the angle, at least for the time being, but no, he falls back. It's a safe bet. With a man advantage, there's no reason to continue playing aggressive. However, Scars, they found nothing here on the T side this round once again.
Yeah, what I really like about MVP in this round is that we see them get aggressive on multiple fronts, right? Not only are you bombarding down Banana with those frags, Molotovs, smokes to boot, but you also have that AWP player pushed up so aggressively in the form of Solo. So you're normally, right, you're looking for a pick somewhere on the map, and then you can fall back into the bomb sites if you're playing scared or if you're really not looking to give any room to your opponents. However, with you just bullying them in terms of frags, this is kind of a bloodbath. Absolute still now at 35 seconds on the clock, have yet to really find an opening, but they will decide to commit towards B, and that's going to contest Solo, who immediately holds off the first frag. Zion's now going to flash his way in apps. He knows this is clear, and he's going to hear all the movement moving up short. Solo could go huge here, but he's got a teammate to help. The no-scope's not good. The USP is in his hand, and Take J with Laz will find themselves the bomb site. 15 seconds as that bomb goes down in 3 versus 2. 2 of these CTs already tagged up so significantly, and zeff waits for no man. He runs right in. Glow finishing the kill, and MVP to double digits.
The reason that's such a clever play from MVP is because there's only 15 seconds left. They know the second they hear a bomb plant, Scars have to be sticking it. There's no way they'll fake out in that position. So as a result, instead of setting up for a retake, they run right in with the assumption that 1 out of the 2 players on the site won't even have a gun in his hands, and they can just take an easy 2-on-1. That they do, cleaning up the site and cleaning up the round in the 3-on-2 without taking a casualty. MVP double digits, and SC only 2 for themselves.
No op afforded for Absolute either, so they're not going to be able to work that. I feel like with the pace that they've been trying to set here on the T side, they've just been trying to hold MVP back at the beginning of these rounds. And an op would be so good at that, especially when you know Solo's trying to find those sniper duels inside middle, right? That could be very punishable. However, they haven't been able to find a solution yet, and they will commit into the A site once more. Crow with an opening, Zion with a trade frag, but it's Solo still standing and now falling off.
Yeah, big pick there, and Bas has to look for the trade. It's still a 3-on-3, but the timing on the peak, he pulls out a nade, and Solo just takes the engagement. Again, the confidence on this man is incredible, but he is the top performer in the server right now, so you can barely blame him. 2 men left up for the T side, and MVP already looking for the retake, but it's a free frag from the back of the apartments as termi on the flank finds that, and Poem just going to get overwhelmed in the 1v1. No Molotov needed. It's MVP with another retake and MVP with another round as they just lead this game in a dominant fashion, Connor. Scars need a couple of T side rounds here and now, because again, as we alluded to coming into this matchup, for both teams, it's their T side that is far more confident and effective than their CT side, and for Scars, they've shown nothing.
Yeah, very scary. Again, considering, right, that you're trying to take MVP on their statistically most played map. So they've got the experience, they're keeping things calm. And remember, folks, this is a BO1 single elimination. You lose this game, you're gone. Hopes and dreams crushed and spat out here at the Computex Taiwan. Hugo, it's not looking good so far, but they will still set the slower pace this round once more. They've been able to contain any kind of a mid-aggression. Solo not going there with his op, but instead swapping over towards Banana, where he's not going to find any pressure here from the T's.
Well, there's been no pressure all game. Scars have not been containing MVP at all. It's been a pretty dominant fashion, as you can see from the scoreline, but these rounds exactly haven't been close in the previous few. MVP with some confident retakes coming through and at least keeping 3 players alive the majority of the time. I expect this one to be no different, but I hope for Scars to finally find something, at least get 4 rounds on this T side, right, so they have a buffer moving into that second pistol. But for now, it's a minute on the clock, and Scars are only just starting to show their presence in apartments. Poem will take control. We do have the push coming through, but MVP have a quad stack up on this A bomb site. They are so prepared for this one. Molotov down Banana just to keep Scars at least honest, and Crow is the only man in the bottom of middle, but right now it doesn't seem to matter. The bomb is working its way through the hallway, and with 30 seconds left, the push comes through.
They will trade right away. Zion finally taken down off of the porch as termi falls off. Now it's a push in from zeff. He nearly cuts off that B rotator, but it will fall to termi, and down he's going. Laz drops him with a headshot, and Absolute will find another round. Now, things look very scary in that instance because you have an A site set up for Absolute. Everybody's prepared and ready to go into the bomb site, and that's only afforded to them because this is one of the very few rounds where MVP are not forcing early engagements. They tried to find some impact with Solo being towards the Banana, using that AWP, but there was no, 30-second 5v4 for the counter-terrorist team. This time around, Glow's going to ensure some kind of a kill, whether it be him or his opponent. In fact, he'll defend himself, but he loses termi over the shoulder. Laz drops him inside of the apartments. Now the bomb's been dropped, but this CT's isolated. How can he retreat with nobody punishing that? Crow should be watching middle, but it's smoked, Hugo. There's the answer.
MVP, just great team play so far, just holding back Scars and not allowing them to take down that retreating player. Important stuff done by the CT side. And again, they're going to continue to look to re-aggress. Solo, you mentioned in the previous round, we didn't have so many engagements forced by MVP, but as they do at the start of the round, they're going to in the middle portion as well. Solo attempts to look through the apartments, but Scars hold them back with the Molotovs. It's almost like these T's are playing the CT side here, not allowing MVP to walk up. And if you're Scars, you want Solo to take this fight, and you want to group up and at least be able to trade effectively. You want MVP to give away man advantages, but Scars not confident in their ability to take these early duels. They've been getting great entries to the sites, but it's already been strong retaking from MVP that's kind of dragged them through these last few rounds. We need something here from Scars. The final round of the half as they set up outside of the Banana, but look at the control taken back by Solo. He can just call for a rotate. He can just call for Zion to move back towards the B side. Although he's pressured in from second middle, he'll get caught, and that may force Scars to rotate, because now they know that MVP had the information that mid was open, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
So it all falls on Sign. If he commits to this corner and lets these players pass, it could be big, and he gets himself 2-3, nearly the fourth, but the bomb's still down, and it falls to Bars. He's going to need a 1 versus 3 clutch here with a plant on 45 health to boot, Hugo. It does not look good. But at the very least, he'll get that bomb in. The push from zeff seals the deal, and that is a 12-3 score at the end of the first half.
That final fight there at the half just encapsulates everything we've seen over this entire game. Just MVP bullying Scars where they have their pants down, right? Every single time Scars look like they have an opportunity, MVP just diving in, not even letting him commit to getting into his post plant. They catch him on the site during the bomb stick, and that will be it. 12-3 on the half. Scars not able to show too much in their first T side and maybe their last T side of this event, Connor, because MVP are only 4 rounds away from knocking them out of the tournament.
This is so cutthroat now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I've never been involved, Hugo, with a more unforgiving format. So here we go. Lots of utility for MVP. Or, yeah, MVP.
The logo swapped again.
Yeah, that's all right. We know, Hugo, we know.
That's what's important.
2 smokes, double frags, 2 flashbangs, 3 sets of Kevlar. That's what MVP are playing with here. And of course, there is that kit for Laz on the counter terrorists. He is positioned back towards CT spawn. And you can see this is a planned assault, a set piece.
But look at the stack from Scars. Look at everyone's here. 4 players on the CT side. And they're going to dive into Banana. termi wins the duels. termi finds all 3. MVP just running over the pistol round. And even though Scars had a perfect setup, they engaged far too early. MVP were just holding down the line, and there was no flashbang to get Scars into position to fight that. If they flash their way into Banana and tried to take the engagements, maybe then it's justified, but they just run dry into a hell of a lot of Glocks, and that's what happens. We're now in a 1v3.
Yeah, not looking good whatsoever here for Bars. He will start to clear out corners on the bomb site, and the only player here is actually back behind the new box. His other 2 teammates over towards Banana, so there is a little bit of a gap here, and Glow's spotting targets now. He will, of course, not pick up the kill. It's termi with a 4th. So a 4K in the pistol round for MVP is definitely a way to kick off the second half. It's definitely a way to end this game early.
And that will make termi the top performer of this team as well. Now, 16-6 for MVP. The coach standing in for the absence of HSK, and that's clearly looking good here for the Koreans as they try and take their first victory here in Taiwan, as said, on the Force with nothing to play with.
What's nice as well, right, is that coming into this, right, our production did highlight termi as that player.
Yeah.
They put him up there as the player to watch, and, well, we have been watching him just pick up kills left, right, and hell, even center. That's where MVP will now charge their way up through the arches. zeff with the MAC-10, finding Poem first and foremost. He tries to give chase, knowing there's a player here, but oh, he's been duped. Laz with 2, and then it's traded back by Xigne. So still they have the ability to wrap either bomb site, and unfortunately for SC Absolute, they have 1 defender per site itself. Things get tricky, but look at that, he's left, Hugo.
He's completely read this
Solo's heard this too.
Oh, that's such a big mistake. They assumed that MVP had wrapped the B site through the CT spawn, so that push down mid from Bars has given the A site away to the Korean side. The bomb down, and already into favorable afterplants with crossfires established in the apartments to the pit. This is falling apart for Scars, and they've realized it already. They've got to fall back and save.
Oh, they had an opportunity there, right? When you have that player pushed up on lane, Hugo, if they're able to get themselves closer towards pit, if he could have even fallen into Boiler, then he would have had himself a fantastic situation where he could have at least maybe found a couple of other kills. I mean, we saw Laz pick up 2 with the Deagle. I don't know how he manages that. He was so pressured by so many bodies and still connected the second headshot, so props to him. Putting up some kind of a hold from Absolute, but they get juked, and that's their demise. Consider the HP there for MVP as well, right? Solo and Glow still near sub 30. Xigne will take damage to the bomb as the round comes to a close, but this map is also coming to a close pretty quickly. 14-3. And it is not going to be a very fruitful buy, Hugo. It's the bargain bin that they will dive deep into, and they come out with only an ump.
You say only. There's CZs in there as well, Connor, but at 14-3, this is not looking favorable at all for the Japanese. Nades down Banana, smoke towards the top as well. It's going to try and hold them back, but they dive on through. Scars taking control and trying to pressure MVP in this round, but they're just going to dive through the smoke. MVP want nothing to do with this, and they're not going to give any room to Scars, and 2 kills already coming through.
Laz with another Deagle, though. That's 3 in the last 2 rounds. It's something to be proud of, but his bomb will hesitate a little longer, and that does allow for SC Absolute to get players closer to this site. I mean, they haven't actually stopped the tease considering that it's smoked off and they're able to cross, but they are already hot on their heels. So the retake could be on. Look at Bars go. Oh, look at Bars go. He picks up 2, puts this one into even keel, and that's going to call Xigne now from the A site over. They need to bail themselves out of the situation, and at least they have a minute to do so. But Laz wants impact. Laz wants another, and there is a player here. A player nearby. Bird in the corner. Now dies, and it falls to Xigne, the last man up. And he has to give chase, Hugo. 45 seconds to clutch.
And he knows Laz is here. He can rotate back down Banana, but he dies through the smoke, and Laz, 3 kills on the Deagle. We highlighted him as one of the better players for this roster, and he is showing it in round number 18. Saving the day for his team. Massive round from Laz. But will it be enough? That's the question, Connor. At 14-4, you have to hope he's going to have a few more of those rounds, and we need other players to step up as well. Poem, again, highlighted by production as one of the standout players. He is at least sitting on 12 kills, having a good game, but it's not a good game for the team, and that's what matters at the end of the day. MVP have forced back up into this. We may have the buy here from the Scars side with a couple of rifles in play as well, but it's the same story for the Koreans.
Crow now looking to exploit the gap on the side of the smoke. That's quite dangerous. Oh my god, there goes zeff.
Wow.
Off a CZ, he picks up 2. That's going to completely break open this B bomb site. The defense has crumbled beneath the feet of the T's, but Laz in position already will try to spam a 3rd out from zeff. He is single-handedly winning this round now, although Bars will stop things at the A site. So there is still some contention coming in from Absolute, and zeff, well, he walks into the construction side. He's trying to give chase to Poem, who's already died, and so Bars is all alone. MVP pick one up straight out of their pocket.
And that's 15 rounds, not only 15, but it's map and match point here for this quarterfinal. If SZ lose the next round, they are going to be going home with nothing but 4 rounds on their shoulders. And MVP, what a dominant opening game here so far. Well, it's not over. It's looking close to being so as they start to hunt down this final player. Bars is surely going to get overrun in the latter stage of this round, and he won't be checked. He's given an opportunity, but there's more players than that to come through, and Solo will clean up. 2 kills from him, 3 from the man himself that you mentioned, zeff, and 15 rounds for MVP.
Match point, folks. I like that graphic. That's cool. Okay, that took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I like it. But what I don't like is seeing Absolute on such a feeble purchase here in what could be, very realistically, the final round of their tournament life. It's obviously an honor to be representing Japan here in Taipei, although I'm sure they'd be hoping for more already. It's not done yet, but 11 match points for MVP. Considering their experience as a roster, considering the performance they've already put up here on Inferno, there is no reason to believe in what would be an astronomical comeback. No reason whatsoever. And of course, as MVP have done, they will take their time with this one. I like the fact that as they clear Banana, we've also got Glow pressuring up towards middle. And these CTs have tried to do nothing in terms of stopping the offense. They are sitting back and just waiting for the onslaught to come their way.
No fear here for MVP in what could be the final round. And the rotation from Scars completely off. They're going to move everyone except Laz towards the B site. Luckily enough, Laz has been good with the Deagle before, and he's going to have to show it again. First kill coming through to Glow, but he can't double down as MVP look to wrap the site. The smoke coming in for the library, but Laz given an opportunity to strike again. His teammates starting to fall instead by Solo, who finds 2. And with that, MVP have the A bomb site. The plant can come in, and the man advantage still held as Scars try to save the game by moving back in for the retake.
With no utility, barely, with no kits either, this is going to be incredibly difficult for Absolute. Already bodies continuing to drop here, and they're disjointed, but they've got a chance. Bars has taken down 2 players. This puts it to even keel, and they have to get the man out of pit. They won't. It's it. Absolute go home, and MVP PK pick up the win in the first quarterfinals.
What a performance as well. We had so many question marks for this event, or at least for this first matchup, in terms of were MVP going to step up to how we expect them. They've talked about internal issues in the past in recent performance, and again, the coach standing in.